Medieval is a 1998 third skeleton action-adventure game published by Sony Computer Entertainment for the PlayStation 1. That really doesn't hit hard without the sound, does it? Let's fix that. Oh yeah, that's the stuff. Along with Half-Life Blue Shift, this is another game I am covering that nobody really considers a hidden gem. Weirdly though, looking up top-selling PlayStation games, it's not showing up at all. Surely it sold more than Mahjong or NASCAR. You Americans really like NASCAR. It did, however, get a remaster with nicer graphics and far smoother frame rates, so you know that counts for something. Scalavision? Oh, I like that. That is a solid pun. I will of course be playing the original in all its pixely blurry glory. With that in mind, I actually have some notes on development. If you want to skip straight to the playthrough, here's the timecode. Otherwise, did you know Dead Man Dan was the original title this game began production under way back in 1995 at Millennium Interactive. All development information I find quickly brings up how influenced the visuals are by Tim Burton's The Nightmare Before Christmas. Hey now, we all know Tim Burton wrote it and things, but let's not forget Nightmare's actual director, this guy. Oh, he did Coraline. The original project was all created by Chris Sorrell, who also made the James Bond games, remember them? Oh, good times. Chris sold the project as Nightmare Before Christmas meets Ghouls and Goblins, and you can definitely see that in the end product. Even the way our main character, Sir Daniel Fortescue, displays his legs as he gets about. I actually move a bit like this too. This is what gangly legs do to a person. So, in the Millennium Interactive days of development, hoping to catch a big publisher's interest, they developed game demos on various consoles. Windows, the Sega Saturn, and of course the PlayStation, which was fresh off the shelves or fresh on the shelves. Sony loved the idea, and that was that. They purchased Millennium, and Medieval became a console exclusive. So we are talking 1995-1996 here, very early days in 3D gaming. Chris Sorrell and the team got to play the beta versions of Crash Bandicoot and Super Mario 64 to learn a little more how to do things right and righter. Like Mario 64 late in development, they decided for a freeform camera you could control rather than a locked position. So how does it stack up against these two and handle 3D? Did any of these handle 3D that well? That's really more of a review section question, let's wait a bit. October 1998, Medieval was released. How did it fare in that year? Do I have to do a montage of how good 1998 games were? Okay, a very quick one. With all that in mind, let's jump into the actual game and see just who Sir Daniel is, what he is up to, and if you know, it's still a fun skeleton time. With all that said, put on a nice hot cuppa, let's light up some pumpkins and explore some delightful cemeteries in Medieval.
Now it's All Hallows Eve.
Medieval packs a hefty amount of cutscenes into the start. Once it boots up, we get a pre-menu lengthy CGI story and then a little film before we really kick things off. Honestly, they're very well done too, giving us a rundown over the land of Gallowmere. The gist of it, an evil sorcerer named Turok, set about taking over the kingdom with an undead army, but was brought to defeat before buggering off into hiding. A century later, he has showed up again, even more powerful this time, and casts a spell over the land, puppeteering the local folk in a hazy dream state, and raising all the dead back into his army. This spell also brings our hero back, you know, Dan, who lies in a crypt having not earned his hero status in the Battle of... What's the battle called? 100 years ago. He actually just died in the first fling of arrows. You see that in the cutscene. It's quite funny. Look how Halloween-y all of this is. Wow. If I didn't have ADHD, I would have kept this until October. Sir Dan is finally up and about, and I get to grips with a PlayStation controller.
I live again.
What have we got here? A basic attack, a circular swinging one? Sure. Okay, well the camera has a mind of its own now. It's encircling us. Feel a bit preyed upon. Oh, this is really annoying. Okay, to save you all from throwing up, let's restart and fix this off camera. Okay, that's much better. Look at that little face. Oh. Alright, we have a jump. It is hard to put into words how much I love his running animation. This is one of the best ones ever. Look at that. Look at him go. Like the wind. Exploring around, we pick up some cash, some throwing knives, so a ranged attack, and a nice shield. It also shows us the rune system it has here. Scattered across levels, different coloured runes act as keys to unlock further sections. Plop it into the hand, which grasps it firmly, and we unlock a door. All along our journey, and especially at the beginning, gargoyle heads give us mini tutorials along with bookstands throwing out some lore for us. British humour is very much at the forefront of Medieval. That dry delivery and blackaddery tone, very much akin to what Fable would do a few years later. It's really solid. This holds up so well. Out of our crypt, it's time for the beginning levels, showing us the ropes in a comfy little graveyard. How can you not love these settings? Even with the pixelated blur of PlayStation in 1998, this looks gorgeous. I can't get enough of these little zombie hands scurrying about. Look at the animation on that, the detail. Hey there, little guy. I'm not going to do it much for this video because this is about the original 1998 one, but let's just see what the remaster looked like here. It's pretty good. I don't know, a bit of the charm lost maybe. Our first enemies show up here. The fodder is zombies, who rigidly dance about, not unlike me awkwardly making my way around a social event. Excuse me. So what are the zombie kill rules here? Beheading, brain death, fire, or oh no, you just bonk them to death. Alright, yeah, sure. Not every gargoyle is a friendly chap to chatter with. Some sell you ammunition for whatever ranged weapon you have so far. As Sir Dan goes around slaying these foes, a percentage meter is filling up beside the chalice icon here. Reach 100 and the chalice opens up, which is found somewhere around the current level. Grab that before leaving, and then between maps you instead go to the Hall of Heroes, a warrior's worship area where you can grab a reward, a new weapon, gold, life things, health, and eventually more areas of the hall unlock, like these ghost stairs. Stupid ghost stairs, bullshit. The rewards are handed out by the statues of former legends, and which you hope to become one day. And your follower from the famous battle 100 years ago gives us a crossbow for our first power-up.
But hold, you could take my crossbow. It's got rapid fire and it can ricochet the darts off walls to shoot around corners. I used it at the Battle of Galloway.
It's all completely optional, and I failed to do it quite a few times. Spoilers. Because I like extra challenge and not because I suck. Definitely not that. But the weapon upgrades are near essential later on.
Welcome to the Hall of Heroes, where the bravest warriors from history spend eternity.
Is it just me or do the gargoyles sound a bit like Willem Dafoe? More graveyarding now. The evil sorcerer Zarok even shows up to antagonize us. Looking a little bit like a Warcraft dragon. You all know which one. He throws boulders down the hill at us, which we have to make our way over. Let's make our way up. Let's try and make our way up. I'm trying to figure out at this stage if it's the early days of platforming or my own skill, but it's not going fantastically. And only going to get worse. Since I'm constantly on low health, these fart crevices are a godsend. Stand over them, inhale the stink, and you regenerate full health. After that, it fills up your life bottles, which revive you if you die. All very handy. You'll also notice these green wisps floating about. Wisps, I'm calling cats again, which point out what you were aiming at or what you should be going for in the area. Little tips and reminders. At times it feels like they have a mind of their own though. Yahoo! Into the mausoleum next, where the platforming steps it up a bit. Jagged obstacles everywhere and even some disappearing floors. This map gives us our first melee upgrade. Another weapon deterioration system. Not Witchhaven again. No, here it's just the club that does this. And enchantments later on. Nope. Okay, let's try that again. This time let's hide. I did not think this through. Researching around, I did find that there was intended to be a platform-oriented section of the game where the player would control the worm that lives in Daniel's skull. You see him popping out from time to time. Sadly, this never made it into the game, but this sounds like a really fun idea. Does that happen in number 2? I don't know, I've never played it. Oh, these guys are super cute. Look at these little piggy goblins. Oh wait, what the hell? Kinda cute, sure, but they steal your item and then they parade around in front of you with it and taunt you and make you look like an idiot. And feel crap at the game. This is a very fun map, especially when you get to meet the piano man himself, the decomposer. Pause for laugh. Seriously, his design is brilliant, all very Banjo-Kazooie. The mausoleum has lots of platforming and ends with our first boss, a gigantic stained glass gargoyle come to life. Very solid stuff. Okay, Holy Heroes, what upgrade have we got this time? What new weapon have you got? A life bottle, come on! Another graveyard map now. Same again, but we get a few new enemies. Charging headless zombies that whomp into you. Wolves about, and finally a mini-boss section against 2 wolves who dip in and out of invisibility. Crossbow makes this a lot more doable, but I take a beating here. Sometimes we get some CGI vignettes between levels, not unlike Apocalypse. Remember that game? I covered that. Probably pretty mind-blowing looking in the late 90s. Are they better than Apocalypse's ones? Maybe? Yeah, probably. Into the fields of corn. Unkillable scarecrows started up, spinning around and working with the camera to annoy me. Good job, I guess. I miss my club. These bum-poking pitchfork chunkers are really annoying. This is so much harder than Apocalypse. I know I brought that up a few times now. That was so basic. The range, okay, it made everything a blurry mess, but it also made it so much easier because I could see enemies approaching. This is far more zoomed in. Medieval is kind of punishing at times. Whoa, this just became an Evangelion game. I guess I just meander under his leggies here. Oh, look at this little pilot. The cornfields kill you, really? Come on, I think I saw something leaping about. I want to swish about in there, that's no fair. Whoa, Dragon Ball. Check that out. I think this is the only time I see this one. Lots of platforming here, machinery whizzing around, blades everywhere. Timing is not my strong suit. Second part of the farm maps is the pumpkin patch, where we kill lots of pumpkins. These guys are easily the most annoying enemy yet. Up close they whip you. I think they block ranged attacks and then they spit seeds at you, I don't know. But look at this damage, this is absurd. Pumpkin boss. First we pop some pods and he appears. He's kind of a joke. Range him down. Very happy to be done with this area. Creators of Shrek, are you fans of Medieval? This is a bit familiar. The sleeping village steps things up a bit. Firstly, it looks fantastic. A real British little town, maybe even Irish. The poor villagers, of course, brandish large weapons, and you don't want to kill them because you get a chalice negativity. So don't kill the enemies, the one thing I could kinda do. Cool. Alright, let's try that again. So instead, you just run a lot. We get to inspect a lot of the houses, which is nice. Not just a front. You can read some fun notes of tourism here. The writing is honestly very good in Medieval. I might even steal some for later videos so I sound super eloquent suddenly, out of the blue. Chris Sorrell, again, explained that the humor was a happy accident and that he used it only when he thought it was appropriate, but it's like most of the game. He said that the team were youthful and silly. There's some more little behind the scenes for you. Rats! My boys, how are you? Oh, you bitch. Interesting animation there. What the hell are you doing? Ooh, skeleton soldiers. Skeleton soldiers! Ooh.
Comrades, tear this place apart.
Ooh, and they're Scottish or Russian? Scottish? This is fun stuff. They shoot at you, which does less than the pumpkin seeds, but whatever. Next up, we melt down a bust and create a key so we can enter the asylum grounds. This one is definitely a goodie. We keep going back and forth to a talking statuesque head who gives us riddles.
At night they come without being fetched. By day they are lost without being stolen.
Go to certain points of the maps, solve the riddle to get there, solve puzzles there, turn some heads. I definitely didn't take about 30 attempts at this. Move stuff into lights, even befriend a rat or mouse, and slowly escort him or her around cats to scare an elephant's bush. No, elephant bush. Excuse me? Sir Dan himself is such a great protagonist. The developers wanted a unique lead character and came up with the idea that Sir Daniel could have been a pompous failure in life whose reincarnation was his one last chance at redemption. This idea, along with the player character's unusual appearance, was extremely appealing to some sectors of the gaming community. It was even noted that female gamers considered Sir Daniel to be endearing and was considered a sex symbol in France. Go Daniel. Alright then. Best level yet, easily. Really enjoyed that. Afterwards we get a nice Warhammer upgrade in the Halls of Valor. Well timed too, because once we get into the asylum it is combat central. Just arena after arena, non-stop dance-offs. The hammer hits a lot harder too. The secondary attack is a charged up area blast, bumps enemies away. Very handy. Look at this, look at the amount of them. At the bottom of the asylum, we talk to the town mayor locked up in his cell. For our bravery thus far, he gives us one of the 2 dragon gems we're gonna need later on. Hall of Heroes next, what you got for me? Gold, okay, let's move on. Yay. The next 2 maps are kind of like a bizarre double act, not in a great way. An enchanted forest first, full of pitfalls, and a large mountain top we ascend to for some large eggs. Exquisite full Irish incoming. Dodge Big Bird's legs and roll the eggs off to grab a rune. Bollocks. Bollocks. Then we make a deal with some witches, give them a shadow talisman, and they shrink us down so we can infiltrate some ant cave? No, this isn't fun. Have any of you ever played Turok 2? Do you remember that section with the boring grey caves? Same again. The big maze of nothingness. Free some fairies and pick up globules of amber for the witches before... Oh, come on, a spider boss? With that, we venture into the swamps and the pools of the ancient dead. Annoying level purely because of the controls and the camera changes meander you off the narrow paths into the swamp a lot. Nothing great here, a lot of death. So much death. At the end of the swamp level, we meet Sharon, or actually the sailor, what's his name in this? Who offers to sail us to the Lake of Souls section, with more narrow pathways above some really creepy water. Look how creepy that is. I do not enjoy looking down into these deep, dark depths. I don't care how pixelated they are. Don't like that. This is all very Mario-y. The jumping fishes over the boardwalk. We get to try out our new broadsword at least. It's pretty decent, it's hard, and you can enchant it later on for some real extra oomph. Some nice enemy designs and creepy fascinations in the background. Barnacle eyes. A whirlpool of lost souls. And even elephant fish. Why not? I like all this stuff, despite not being a hugely enjoyable level. This underground passage brings us to the Crystal Caves, which are pretty unremarkable. Oi, get your legs out of the way, you stupid gargoyle thing. I'm trying to read here. But I do love these Wendigos with hammers. That is a cool combo. Let's discuss the music. It's extremely good, and you can certainly hear the Nightmare Before Christmas tones seeping through. It's all very good stuff. Look at this snappily dressed zombie. Don't wake the serpent. Brrr. 2 particularly spooky maps in a row for Sir Dan now. We picked up a neat axe in the Hall of Heroes and we can try it out in the Haunted Ruins. After admiring some chickens. Look at these chickens! Oh, these chickens are so cool. Them some fine chickens. We can try out our new axe here. It does okay damage, but you can throw it without worrying about ammo for ranged damage. Or picking it up again. It just comes back to you. As for this map, it's fine. We get more of those fantastic shadow gargoyles. The gargoyles melt your health away. So I avoid a lot of them. We enter caves and grab a crown and talk to the Ghost King.
Sir Fortescue, noblest of my courtiers, bravest of my captains. Splendid. Good luck, old friend.
I have to go now. My planet needs me.
With that, we're in a time section as the ruins become even more ruined in an incoming explosion to release the lava of the mountain before we catapult off. Ooh, bridge skeletons. Our CGI cutscene between this sees us being saved by the real hero of this tale, the Big Bird. This guy shows up every now and then and always saves us. Good bird. Did we steal his eggs? Did we break his eggs? The second spooky map is a ghost ship. No, not that one. Although, not that far off, I guess. Along with trains, ships are always fantastic level ideas. I know a few of them are going through your heads right now. Short and sweet map. Best in a while yet. Maybe just second to the Asylum grounds, and very reminiscent of Skies of Arcadia. Platform all above the top section, and if you fall, rather, every time I fell down to the inner quarters to be chased around by skeletons of every rank on the ship. All before cannoning the gigantic skeleton captain down. Super fun. Look at this, all very fun. Look at his design. Oh my god, he is glorious. Can I join your ship, please? I'll be on the poop deck. The final selection of maps all lead into one another in the Mountain of Gallowmere, where Zarok will be finally confronted. I grab a nice fiery longbow before here too, which is great against the big mobs. Firstly, the unique looking time-themed map, which starts with okay. Let's see, things of note in this map. We have big squishy brains, that's fun, you get to jump on them. Time puzzles. Floaty clocks. Platforming. Okay, that's not interesting. That's not interesting at all. How about a ghost train? Yeah. Oh, come on. Skeleton ghost train. This really does win me over time and time again with all the skeletons. Even after some really off-putting sections. Just fantastic aesthetics the whole time. Really solid penultimate map. We open doors to bring the train around, get all choo-choo. Get all choo-choo. Did I write that? And finally, we're heading into our big showdown with Zarok, which I won't lie, caught me a little bit off guard. It's not just wander in, get a speech, and go all ham on the big bad. Instead, well, you do get a speech, but the first fight showcases a skeleton army coming for us before we release the souls of the chalice we've been collecting, who fight alongside us. Well, actually they fight. The strategy is not what I did the first time anyway. The second time I grasp, we need to follow our green wisps to a box to grab the lightning heal and keep all our bony boys alive, which also saps our health in return. This is not that easy and I didn't start with full HP. Ow, ow, ow.
This battle is ours! We are free from the tyranny of Zarok!
Next stage is Zarok's champion, who looks incredible, like a horseman straight from Apocalypse, but has all the difficulty of that game as well, so easy peasy. You can just range him down, it's very easy. Finally, Zarok himself steps up. Well, actually, he goes backstage to do some things. Whoa. Does this count as a mech? A dragon mech? It is so fast. Just all up in your face all the time. Try to kite him and longbow it, it's not easy. But I get there in the end. Sorcerer Supreme, what have you got to say after all of that at the end?
Then all shall perish. You are doomed, Fortescue. You will never leave this domain.
That genuinely got a laugh out of me. This bird again, what a trooper. Look at this bird. The real hero. We should have used him from the start to fly us over to Mount Doom. I mean, the castle. And that's it. Medieval over. To the Bony Mobile. Oh, that sounds gross. Ugh. Okay, first let me check what I missed in upgrades. I missed a whole lot in the Halls of Valor. Oh wow, I missed a ton. I am so good at games. Turns out there was a magic sword, a magic longbow, lightning attack. Let me see that. That looks fun, what the hell? Oh, whatever. I also kind of want to see what the end boss looked like in the remake. Yeah. Metacritic, as usual, doesn't have the older critic scores, but sits at a very tidy 8.1 user score. Wow. Let me pull up a high scoring one and a lower one. WV7 Dog Guy says, everything is great about this game but the combat. I wish they knew how to make 3D games as well as they can now, because this would have been a 10. That is some big praise. The main issue isn't even the combat, I would say, but he is right, the early days of 3D preventing the fluidity of later titles is annoying. The lowest user score I can find is by someone called Gian96. Let's see. Okay, gonna need help translating this. Okay, let me just... Casual game without much to express. I guess it is kind of casual. I'm sure I'm missing something in translation, but I'm gonna treat this literally because that's how I do. Not much to express though. How dare you? There was literally a Ghost Express in this game. Like in my last video, I'm gonna do a what's good and what's bad section to sum up the nitty gritty of Medieval. This time let's start with the bad. The camera is a nightmare at times. Early days of 3D this just happened. Programming for user decisions and movement in a new world of dimensions means it just does not do what it wants to do, and poor Dan dies a lot. The combat is fine, but it's so limited. 2 attacks, that's all you get in melee, and then you get your ranged weapon. A combo system or new unlockable attacks would have been great. Maybe these are in the sequel, I don't know. There are some really dull levels, like the Ant Cave and Pumpkin Patch. Just not very fun, and stand out a lot between the really fantastic stuff. Okay, so how about the good stuff? I'm gonna try and not just say, oh wow, this game has skeletons in it, I love skeletons, yada yada, skeletons, I like skeletons, blah blah, my personality is skeleton. The characters and settings are fantastic, big influences from Nightmare Before Christmas as said before, but I can also see the games and films it influenced later on, such as Fable. Sir Dan is so good, look at him. You cannot not love this guy. The humor and writing, while it's not there all the time, is very solid. Just keenly written, dry English comedy always goes down a treat. They aren't all, but the maps that are great are really memorable. The ghost ship in the asylum with the riddles really stand out. I won't be forgetting these any day soon. The game is showing its age for sure. It's nearly 30. Jesus, 30 years. Don't do it. Don't think about the inevitable passing of time and how old I am. Don't do it. Don't get locked in. But I think the game looks fantastic still. Really using the limitations of the engine and keeping the style intact. So as you can see, far more positives than negatives. But the main issues are definitely glaring for this game. That camera control is guaranteed to gamer rage you at least a handful of times, and the combat gets very stale very quickly. Still, I can see why this game is so revered. I'll take any game with a skeleton set in a fantasy world with more skeletons and gargoyles and dragons, but there is that remaster if you want the game with a fresh coat of paint and more fluid controls. It's a thumbs up from me for sure. Boot this up around the end of October for some maximum spooky coziness. Alright, thanks everyone for joining me with a PlayStation game revisit from the late 90s. Let me know in the comments below if you want me to play the sequel. Is it any good? I have no idea about it. The box art reminds me of Reanimator 2. I like that. Should I go for the remaster or stick with the original? In any case, I can add that to Witchhaven 2, which a lot of you want me to play. Cool, I've heard it's impossible, whatever. New videos out every week, no idea what's up next. Something probably old and a little forgotten. Follow me on Blue Sky, there's the link. Here's my Twitter link as well, and should you want to, here's my Ko-Fi link if you want to follow me there or go above and beyond in support, it helps so much. Otherwise, like, comment and share the video. I really do enjoy reading all the comments, you guys are fantastic. I hope you're having an awesome day, and at the very least, this video made you even an ounce more cozy. I'm Mr. E Machine, and I'll see you next time. And I'll see you friends.